Hi, my name is Sharmini and I'm glad to be part of the Stay Strong series, and let's dive into the Word of God for this week. A few weeks ago, I met this young lady and she was saying in a conversation with anybody, she loves listening to the conversation. And she gave this profound statement. She said to her, listening is therapeutic. I was quite taken aback. Speaking is of course therapeutic because you're pouring out your heart to somebody, but how come listening is therapeutic? So I dug into the scriptures to see if there was anything that would substantiate this statement. And surprisingly, I came across 3 incidents. The first one is recorded in Numbers chapter 27 and in 36. Now this is that day in the history of the Israelites, long-awaited day. The promised land is being allocated. There's excitement in the air. The whole community has come together. Moses is there. The high priest is there. The leaders are there. Now, 5 daughters of Zelophehad step out boldly and say this to the community. They say, "Our father was a good man. He died in the wilderness, but he had no sons. Why should our father's name be erased from the history of Israel just because he didn't have sons? Why not consider giving an inheritance in the promised land to us, his daughters?" Now Moses gave them a patient listening, took it up to the Lord. And the Lord said, yes, the girls are right. The rest was history. Now there was a new law formed in Israel that supported women having inheritance. Careful listening always helps us to clarify gray areas. The second incident is found in 1 Samuel chapter 25. Now David and his 400 men with their swords and in a fit of rage are on the way to Nabal's house to kill Nabal and every man in his household because Nabal treated David's men with contempt. Now Abigail, Nabal's wife, gets to know about this, acts quickly and wisely, picks up a whole lot of food and gifts, rushes into David's presence, falls at his feet and says this. At the end of the conversation, this is what David had to say about her. He said, "I have heard your words. May God bless you for your good sense of judgment and from preventing me from bloodshed." Careful listening always helps good sense to prevail over rage and anger. The third incident is found in the book of Mark chapter 5 and also in Luke chapter 8. Jesus is having a hectic, tightly packed day. He's just back from a long travel. He's given a sermon. He has a storm to calm, and then he's driven the demon out of a man, and then he's on his way to heal Jairus' daughter who's on her deathbed. And now comes this woman with an issue of blood for 12 years. She touches the hem of Jesus' garment and she is healed. Jesus turns around and says, "Who touched me?" Mark chapter 5:33 captures this beautifully. It says, this woman, as frail as she was, trembling, stood up and told Jesus the whole story. Imagine telling a 12-year-old story. That's a whole lot of time. But Jesus listened to her patiently, and I'm sure the crowd who heard her story would have been greatly challenged. If Jesus could stop and listen, how much more you and me? When we are in a conversation with people, we've got to stop and listen to them because they believe that we are an integral part of their life and that we do have the time for them. Many a question that we are wrestling with is found in the listening. The answers are right there. This week may already be a tightly packed week for you, or maybe it is loaded with days of excitement, or maybe even occasional opportunities of anger and rage that would come by. It really doesn't matter. When you're in a conversation with somebody, stop, stay in the present, and give them a good listening, because listening is sure therapeutic. Try it out this week, and God bless you.